I'm great. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm very honored.
Oh my gosh, it's such an honor to have you on the show. And I know we have so much to talk about, but first of all, you have a little introduction. You may recognize this song.
Yes, one of my favorites.
Shine Bright by Major, sang at one of your galas. And the words are wonderful. And so is my guest today. Deborah is the CEO of Face Forward LA, a charity founded in 2007 that provides pro bono physical and emotional reconstruction for men and women and children who have been victims of domestic violence, human trafficking, or cruel and criminal acts. Deborah is also the CEO of Beverly Hills IV Therapy that promotes beauty, health, and longevity at spas or home or at a private villa or on your vacation. There's even an IV facial, which sounds very exciting. Established in 2018, it continues to grow, and now it's going to be in the UK too, as well as the Maldives and Abu Dhabi. With an advanced degree in business management from Glasgow University, Deborah moved to the Middle East to work for the royal family in Bahrain, managing the royal family's fleet of private aircrafts and traveling the world. In moving to the States, she works for numerous Fortune 500 companies and private clients in purchasing and managing their private aircrafts. Deborah will not rest until Face Forward puts the brakes on domestic violence. You give hope, compassion, and a chance for a normal life and an improved future to so many victims who are now survivors, thanks to you, Deborah. So like the song says, shine bright and never, ever, ever.
Making me want to dance.
Ladies and gentlemen, the amazing Deborah Alessi.
Thank you so much for the beautiful intro. You make me sound so good.
Oh, well, it's all you, Deborah. It is all you. That song is so beautiful, and when I was going through everything, reading everything about you, the song came up in one of your videos at your galas, and I was like, oh, it's gorgeous. So I thought it was
He
perfect
actually
for you.
surprised us. We didn't know he was going to do that. So
Really?
yeah, he took all the patients and doctors on the stage, and he took each individual, each patient out, and he sang to them that they're beautiful. And most of these men and women have never been told that before for a very long
make me
time.
cry. It's very emotional. See, look, you've got me going already, wow. And I've just started.
My executive director was like, oh my God, like, we couldn't control it, because it was just to see their face. And we had a little girl there who was only 14 from Cambodia, and she literally like climbed into my body. And she was sobbing, but it wasn't sobbing from sadness, it was sobbing from joy.
Because they've never been told they're beautiful.
Yeah.
We'll put up all the information after the show, but on your website, the Face Forward LA website for your charity, and I'd love you to talk to us, all about that. You'll see all these videos of these horrific acts of violence and crime and acid attacks that these women, men have had. Please tell us all about your amazing charity.
Yeah, it started about 12 years ago, which was after I got married. My husband said he didn't want me traveling around the world, so can you do something, like maybe we'll start a charity, because he knows I'm very active. I could never just be a housewife. So I had an idea about, thinking maybe I'll do something like this, but I was clueless. I had no clue what I was doing. And then I did the first year, and I realized very quickly that there was such a big demand for what we are doing. And there's not many non-profits around the world that will fly you out, pay for your airfare, accommodation, anesthesiologist, operating room, therapy, your housing while you're here. Because a lot of our cases, they come for 2-3 months at a time because they are acid survivors. So we started doing domestic violence in the country, in the US, but then I expanded it to international. And then I went maybe 2-3 years ago, or maybe 4 years ago, we brought in human trafficking, because that's also a major problem around the world right now. So we've helped cases from all over the world and continue to do so.
It's amazing.
We have a patient right now from Ethiopia who's here, who is in surgery today with my husband, Dr. Alessi, and she is an acid survivor.
Oh, God, it's horrific to hear the stories, because they tell their stories on videos on your website. There's women that have thrown acid in their husbands' faces, and there was one gentleman that there was electric on the floor, so when he got out of bed, he electrocuted himself. I mean, the crimes are hideous. I think this goes on in the world is just horrific, and you take these people and you give them a whole new life.
It just feels like the abuser wants to make it very final. So it's nothing that, you know, when someone puts acid in someone, it's beyond domestic violence. This is like, I want to finish you. And it's unfortunate, like most of our cases right now, I would say 60% are acid survivors.
Oh my God. It's horrific. And are you also, have you now opened it as well up to war veterans as well?
Yes, we have. We've been working on that. I think after when things get a little bit better with COVID, that's something that we'll be working with veterans and acts of crime, because we have a patient from London, Andreas, who opened the door on Christmas Eve and it was the wrong door, wrong identity, and they poured a bucket of acid over him. So his life changed. But you know, the patients that we pick are so positive, even though their journey has been horrendous. It's never the glass is half empty, it's always the glass is half full.
Yeah,
and that's incredible for me.
That's what I couldn't believe either as well. And you were explaining on your website that you do this for these people and you change their lives and you give them this reconstructive surgery and then they give back. And in turn, after you've done that for them, they then give back to it. They write a book or they then start raising money for the charity. That aspect of it is incredible that these people have that within them.
And I think that's what's really important to do the therapy, because without the therapy, we could do $1 million in surgery on someone. But if they're not healed on the inside, then the physical doesn't matter. So that's why we like the balance of both. And then they get to really value what they do have, what is the positive in their life right now.
Yeah. So to offer both the facial and the emotional, melding of their hearts and getting them back to who they were is incredible. So then for them to go back on the stage and then have Major sing and tell them they're beautiful, having gone through all of that, I can imagine that there wasn't a dry eye in the house.
No, it wasn't.
And you get to go to Cambodia and you get to see these children that are, having acts of violence. Tell us about your trips.
Yeah, the last one I did was Cambodia. I was going to go back, but then COVID happened. So hopefully I'll maybe get back this year. But a friend of mine and I went there, and he was taking footage because we were actually going to honor the CEO of the non-profit. It's called Cambodia's Children's Fund. It's an amazing organization. And the gentleman that is the CEO, he's originally from Scotland, but he moved to Australia, and then he became a president of the studios here in the US, and he started off as a runner, and then, very quickly just developed right up the ladder. And he gave everything up in his life, his home, his car, everything, to help to move to Cambodia and change the life of these children. So when he went there, the law was very different also, because if you raped a young girl, it was like $100 fine. So he's been fighting that. He's been fighting, giving them education, healthcare. So when we went there, there was some parts where it was really mind-blowing, because I was like, oh my God, this is nothing what I'd ever imagined. There was human waste there. There was drug addicts. There was like camps, tents that looked like, worse than downtown, and homeless people, what you'd have to see. And these were young children, and a lot of them go through the garbage to get money, to get a penny for a week or a month. So they go through the rubbish, and then they get very sick, and the rubbish is like 4 miles high. So this gentleman came in and he just did so much to the elderly, to the children, gave them education. Some children that were gangbanged were now helping others and went to university in Australia. So he's done an amazing job, and we were honoring him. So when I went to Cambodia, I was really not really quite sure what I was expecting, but I was blown away with one little girl I fell in love with. And she had gone through some difficult things in her life at a very young age. And today we still pen pal, and we Skype, and we talk once a month on email. And she's just adorable. I actually posted something she did on a couple of weeks ago, she sent me. And to see her grow, and then we brought the mother and the daughter. So when I went there, I thought we were just doing the daughter at 14. Yeah. But when I got there, I realized the mother was also a survivor of acid. And whoever attacked the little girl attacked the mom. She was blind, and then we flew them out, and they were very shy, especially the 14-year-old. And when she left, she was speaking fluent English. She was like a new person. We did a lot of surgery on her. We also, got a wig made for her for hair, because the acid had destroyed all the follicles in her hair. And then we are flying a doctor from here to Cambodia, who's going to do the surgery for the mum to give her back her vision. So we're not just giving one person. He's teaching a local doctor there how to do this. And this gentleman is like the god of vision. So for the fact that we got him to do this is incredible. To actually fly to Cambodia, teach someone how to do this. And the mum, for the first time, I think, believe in 10 years that she'll see her daughter again.
I actually have no words. It's just amazing. Someone is saying here, Danielle Luna 22, you are an angel living on earth. You really are. I mean, to do this for people is just, how did this come about for you? Because I know, you're in your past, you were a victim of domestic violence. Is that what started the whole charity? Yeah,
I did. It was unconscious really, because when I chose Face Forward and domestic violence, I just thought it made sense at the time because my husband was a surgeon. I was great at marketing, so I thought we put this together and it would make a non-profit. But it was about 2 years down the line, I actually realized that this was my healing journey for me. And I unconsciously chose domestic violence because I hadn't really dealt with what I had gone through. So once I was like, wow, so I think Face Forward found me. It was like this, my angel came to me. I mean, it's been difficult times right now because we can't do any of our events this year. We can't do any fundraisers. So it makes us very anxious. How do we continue to help these patients? And even though the doctors provide pro bono surgery, it still costs us between $15,000 to $25,000 to be able to bring a patient here just for one surgery. So I will continue the fight, and my executive director knows every day. I'm like, we have to find money. We had a board meeting on Zoom the other night, and we've got 15 patients waiting for surgery. So this is something that will continue. I will fight for this.
Can you do a Zoom? Can you do a Zoom gala event?
We thought about that with from one of our board members. His sister was actually trafficked when she was 14 in Arizona. So he was trying to be. He's very creative and also a very smart businessman. So he was suggesting to do a Zoom gala. But I don't know how well that would go or if it would be a success, but we're willing to try anything.
Well, maybe there's a way that we can help you here with this.
That'll be amazing. Because I heard about you. Emma Willis was telling me you're an amazing event planner. And my little bells went off in my head. I was like, we always need a good event planner for the gala.
Yes! Emma Willis is an amazing makeup artist.
Yeah, she is. She's an incredible friend and an amazing artist also.
She is. I didn't know that. That's amazing. Yeah, she just does a lot of my brides.
But she said that to me. Yeah, she's lovely.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that because maybe there's a way that I can talk to my events people and we can, do a Zoom, because there has to be a way that we can do this and raise money and with a virtual gala. There has to be.
Yes, I think that we've been hitting up grants. We're also trying to do a platform where we do an online fundraiser with like Charity Buzz. So we did lose a lot of our sponsors because a lot of them are hotels. But the one I did last week with one of our sponsors in the Maldives, we did a live and he surprised me and he actually said that he would give me the $50,000 package again. So, and even though they're closed since April, he still said like, I want to give you this. So he said there's nobody should hold back in giving to help others, even though you're going through a difficult time. So that will go on Charity Buzz, and so many people. Last year we sold it in the live auction, I believe, for like 47,000. So.
Oh my God, that's amazing! Yeah. We have to do something. We will brainstorm on this. There has to be a way. We'd love to be involved in this. Amazing. The human trafficking is also, and yesterday was World Against Human Trafficking Day, wasn't it? July 30th. Can you talk to us a little in depth more about human trafficking? Because you hear about it all the time, and I don't think everybody knows the extent of the horrificness that happens and how it happens.
Yeah, I think most people think it happens in other countries. Yeah. But I think they're very surprised that it's actually happening in the States. And because of COVID, it's doubled the numbers right now.
Really?
Yeah, so they're using a lot of apps to attract children, to kidnap, but they can actually zoom in and tell you exactly the location where that child is at, get to know the kid or the young girl for 4 or 5 days, and then they lure them in. And like the board member we have, his sister was at a party in Arizona, and